I can't even imagine. Have you heard those words and thought, neither can I? But then, it happened. Life took a turn you weren't expecting, and somehow you kept going. You are not alone. Your story matters, and we're here to talk about it. We're two moms, lifelong best friends, and we know what it's like when life throws the unexpected our way. Here we share real stories of struggle, strength, and hope. Because through every challenge, a new path unfolds, and where hardship meets strength, purpose is found.
Welcome to episode 20 of I Can't Even Imagine. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Stephanie. So we just launched a Patreon called Bullshit and Besties, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's where we let it all out. Hilarious stories from growing up together, awkward mom fails, marriage rants, middle school drama, including one episode where I read an actual letter that Victoria wrote me in 7th grade. And yes, it's as embarrassing as it sounds.
Yes, it is.
But it's not just us. Sometimes when we go off on wild tangents with our guests or have those laugh out loud, totally off-topic moments that don't quite fit the main interview, we save them for Patreon too. So if you want to hear the behind the scenes, the bunny trails, the real us, uncensored and unfiltered, that's where you'll find it. And honestly, if you love what we've been building here at I Can't Even Imagine and you want to help keep this going, this is the best way to support us. We're funding everything out of pocket right now, and your support means the world. So head over to Patreon at patreon.com/bullshitandbesties. That's bullshitting without the G. And come hang with us. The link will be in our show notes. Today we welcome Piret, author of Joyful Life Jumpstart, and expert on positive mindset and multidimensional perception. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Happy to have you.
Yes, really happy that you were able to come into the studio today.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Thank you.
So tell us about what you do and how you got here.
Well, I teach positive mindset, actually saying happiness expert.
Mm-hmm.
Because first I was like doing just life coaching, and there was one point after I already got my coaching license, I saw a workshop that was like, you can be certified happiness coach. I was like, that sounds so cool. So that's how I started first going directly into a happiness. That's when I got more into like teaching positive mindset, happiness, and everything like this. And I like got to the point where I was like, can I say I'm expert already? And I said like, well, pretty much every question that people will ask me, I'll be able to tell them an answer. So I can say I'm an expert.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was such a cool thing to like be a happiness expert.
So what makes people happy? What's the secret?
Well, happiness just, it's not about what makes people happy. Everybody has their own thing that makes them happy. That's one thing too. Everybody has to understand as well. And I'm writing about that in my new book. You have to know what makes you happy, not what makes people happy, because some of the things that make Stephanie happy, you will try it and it will be like, I don't get it. It doesn't make me happy. And some of the things that make you happy, Victoria, Stephanie will be like, no, not for me.
Right.
So that's why you have to know what makes you happy.
How do you find out what makes you happy? Like if you're a mom of 4 kids that works all the time and doesn't have a lot of time to themselves, and you just like live life
On autopilot
all the time. I'm just hypothetically making up a story about somebody. I would have no idea what that life is like. That's me. I'm talking about me.
But that's actually a lot of people, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm teaching as well. And as a happiness expert, I say happiness is not something that you're all the time. It's not normal to be happy all the time. You have other feelings for a reason. You have fear, you have sadness, you have anger. You need all of them. But it's just happiness. You need to find a way to get through those other feelings, the other situation. And happiness helps you go through the hard situation in life and get back to a normal, positive mindset again.
So do you agree with the statement that happiness is a choice?
I don't think happiness is a choice, because a lot of people like you said, they don't even know what the happiness feels like. So they can't choose something that they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Like after,
Because I hear that a lot.
Yeah, people say that, and I thought about that question as well. I thought about it like, well, is it a choice and isn't it a choice? And the way I talk with people, some of the people, they just don't even know what it feels like. So it can't be a choice for them. So you just like you are asking, how do you know what makes you happy? So you have to start paying attention. So what I have a lot of people to do, you write down daily what made you feel at least a little bit happy.
Okay.
Or something like this. With the time you start noticing, okay, this made me happy, this situation made me happy, or this person makes me happy, or having my cup of coffee, or having my whatever food that you like that makes me happy.
Food makes me very happy.
You see? And then you have to acknowledge that, okay, this makes me happy.
So I think the choice part in my mind comes in when you're choosing to find the little positive nuggets in life. You have to make the choice to look for those things. You have to make the choice to find them.
It becomes a choice when you already know what makes you happy. Then you have a choice like, which one I'm gonna feel. I'm gonna feel angry, or I'm gonna try to get through the anger, and that's when you get the choice. Or like, which one I'm gonna choose, being angry or trying to get back to being in positive mindset.
Yeah,
but you have to know that first.
And we live in such a really tough world, it seems, nowadays, where, I mean, everywhere you look, that's why I don't watch the news, because everything is miserable. Everything is bad. Everything is negative. It's all the, the trauma and things and wars in the world. So it's like, I don't need that in my mind. That does nothing but fill your mind with fear and worry, and it steals your peace.
The common saying is that everybody wants to be happy.
Yeah.
So that's not true either. If everybody wants to be happy, everybody would be happy.
Right.
Right. Common sense. But there's people who they don't know what happiness is. They grow up with maybe abusive or some other situations where they didn't feel any of that. So they grow up with the anger, with fear, with
resentment,
sadness, and all of those other feelings. So they don't know that they want to be happy. They just got used to it being in one way. But what I do think what people actually want, like everybody wants, is safety. To feel safe. I was saying like everybody wants to be happy. I teach that everybody wants to feel safe. Like I have enough money, I have home, my kids are okay, or they're gonna be okay. Like this feeling of, okay, it's gonna be okay, I'm safe. But it comes with mutual from other people. It has to be not just from your side, but other people have to learn to be the same way as well. So when you go and talk with somebody, you feel safe talking with that person, but it takes a long time for all the world to get to that point.
There's nothing worse than being in the really great, like you woke up on the right side of the bed. You're just feeling great today. Everything's kind of going right. You go through all the green lights. You got a great parking spot. Just everything's kind of lining up. And then the next person you talk to is just in the shittiest mood. It like brings everything down.
Yeah. I can't be around people like that. Debbie Downers, if you will.
But even if they're not Debbie Downer
they're just
all
having
the
a rough
time,
day.
Yeah, but it just kind of brings out, it's just kind of like, oh, well, now I feel some type of way.
Right.
Yeah. It comes right over on you. And also the ones that complain.
Oh my God, I know.
That complaining, I can't handle complaining. It's like, do something about it.
And then it's contagious too. That then when somebody's negative all the time, if you're around that person for too long, you find that you start doing those same behaviors, and they're like, wait a minute. Until somebody like calls you out on it, you're like, wow, I totally just matched their energy. That's not good.
That's when I go, like, when I talk about the multidimensional perception, that's just the layers of that feeling, they come over to you. That's where you learn to block it, because if you don't acknowledge it and see it, it comes right over you. Their feelings come
like
right in your space. Yeah, they come to your space.
Right.
So, and you have to learn to block it, otherwise it will take over.
Yeah.
I need to learn that.
Yeah. So you mentioned the multidimensional perception. Can you explain what that is?
It's kind of like understanding beyond our robotic existence and understanding how things actually work. For this one, you have to understand the layers as well. Like dimensions are something that's not like I'm here and now there's somewhere else is the first dimension, somewhere else is second, or something like this. Multidimensional means that everything is involved, like everything's inside of each other, outside of each other. We don't really have spaces between. Like we think the air is empty, there's no emptiness.
Right.
It's all filled with gases, molecules. It looks empty for us, and we feel like we have our body, which is like materialistic thing. It's an object, but like everything else is still connected. We're connected with air, and like you said right now about the mood. If somebody's in a bad mood, that's still in this space, and it just comes with the waves, and everything just comes through the space and comes to you.
You just can't see that dimension, but it's there.
You can't see it, but everything is like dimensional like that. So all the things as well with the weather and everything, it's just like simple thing to understand as well. When we say sun goes down and sun comes up, sun doesn't go down or up, so it just stays where it is,
Right.
and the earth just rotates.
Right. Our perception is that it's
That's
gone.
why I say it's a perception of things, and you just have to understand all the perceptions and everything.
Interesting, yeah.
But it's new as well. That's why
Yeah.
it's hard for people to understand, because it's kind of involves between putting several sciences together. The way I got to that point as well. A lot of science people, they only focus on what in their science. Like, okay, they know physics, so now everything has to be in physics. They don't take like biology or anything. They don't consider any of that, or even like holistic views or any of that.
Right.
It's just like, if you can't measure in numbers, it doesn't exist.
Right.
You know?
So it's funny you say that, because I say that a lot when we've talked to a lot of moms who have gone through like medical traumas, especially like involving their kids. I mean, that's what inspired our
brought us
podcast.
here.
That's what
Yeah.
brought us here. And like for me, for example, like my son's a cancer survivor. I say to people, like, an oncologist only knows one thing. They know cancer. That's it. That's their expertise. It's not that they're necessarily a bad doctor. If you come to them and ask them about something that's kind of outside of that realm and they say no, it's simply because they don't know. So liability wise, they're going to tell you no. So I see that a
exactly
lot in the
is.
medical world. So that's why I've always felt like there's a time and a place for that kind of, for the Western medical world. But I would love to see a blend, integrative medicine, if you will.
Yeah, and there's starting to be more of that. A lot of like the regular doctors, they started to learn already holistic healing as well. So they combine that. They combine like when it's not just like prescribe a drug,
Right.
but you also have to prescribe the diet and all the exercise and all these things, other things as well. So it's moving towards it a little bit. Because I know of several doctors who moved to be holistic doctor now, but that doesn't mean they only do like some kind of voodoo or something like this.
Oh yeah,
They-
Right.
yeah, right.
Yeah, they still consider it from medical point of view, but they add all the diet,
Yeah.
exercising, healthy living, all that. If needed, there's medications, surgeries.
Yeah, sorry, I went off on a little tangent there.
No,
but
no,
that
that
just
makes-
reminded me of that
that-
thought, because you're talking about scientists. They only focus on the one science that they know. The same thing. I mean, medicine is a science.
Yeah, and people get really laser focused on what they've studied or what they're an expert in.
Right. It's hard to see outside of that. They get tunnel vision. So where did the multi-dimensional perception stuff come into play? Like how did what you do kind of morph, and then you started going down that route? What got you interested in that?
When I try to like understand things, so I'm trying to like understand more beyond of like what we have in everyday life, and just getting through the robotic existence. And I just saw the connections through the things that I was reading, people that I was working with, the people that I learned from, and it kind of like works out step by step. Like now you're getting more information. Now you get interested about like, oh, how about that? And then you start thinking beyond all the surface and everyday robotic living.
Right. The autopilot.
Yeah,
Of
the
life.
autopilot.
Yeah.
And even to understand the autopilot is so cool. Like I learned to understand the autopilot. How come when you actually go to survival mode autopilot, it's like you're doing things, you don't even know how you're doing it, just know what to do, and you do what you have to do, even if you don't understand what you're doing.
Do you ever drive and you end up somewhere and then you're like, you realize you get home or wherever you're going and you're like, how did I get here? Like wasn't even paying attention. It's like muscle memory, survival mode. You just get on autopilot. You end up where you need to be, and you're like, I could have died.
Yeah, you weren't even present.
Right.
Yeah, but even think about with what happened with your kids, and like when you found out what happened, like the diagnosis and everything, how did you know where to go, what to ask, what to do? It's like all those things are coming to you somehow
Yeah.
from one information base to the another, and then it was like, oh, maybe I should call that person. Like, how did you get? Well, like for my question at that point were like, well, how did I came to that point to think about like, oh, I should call there? Like, how did my mind figured out that I have to call to that person? So I started asking way too many questions.
Yeah. We say it all the time that you just kind of do what needs to be done in situations where there's like.
But somehow you do know.
Yeah.
Somehow you know it's because, and that's when it goes to multidimensional way, where that information comes to you from other people and everything like this. You didn't acknowledge it knowingly that you saw something somewhere, like written or somebody said something, but your mind acknowledged it already before and you kind of already knew. So it's kind of like when you were talking about the driving, your mind already knows and it sees by itself. So you don't have to be focused on it.
Right.
Because your mind and brain already knows all the road. So it just goes there without you having to really pay attention. It's the same way, like we think that we only see what we're like looking right now when you're driving. You think you only see what you see, but at the same time, multidimensional perception, where you hear, you see, and everything else on the same time as well. So you don't see the road only, your eyes actually see around the road as well. So you see a lot of things around you, but you don't focus on, but some other time you drive there and you think of like, oh, I need to stop in a gas station. And it's like, oh, I think there's a gas station a little bit further.
Right.
And you kind of like know that, but you didn't notice it before, but you eyes see more than you think.
Your brain is just storing things without you really realizing it.
And your eyes and hearing and everything, it stores like a lot of the things that you don't pay, you're not focusing on that.
Right.
Like when I'm driving with my husband, because I drive every single day, I drive a lot for work, and he'll be in the car with me. And of course I'm a control freak, so I like to drive. Plus I'm from this area, so I kind of know like how to get everywhere. He'll say something. He'll be like, hey, look out for that guy on the bike up ahead. And I'm like, yeah, I saw him 2 miles ago. Like I already got it,
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, how did you see him? I'm like, well, A, you were looking at your phone, and B, he's just, I'm so used to being very observant. And even if it's not something I'm completely focused on in the second, like, okay, saw him, logged it,
Yeah.
just, keep going and without even realizing it. Then if next week you ask me if I saw somebody on a bike, I probably won't remember.
Right.
There's so much, because my life is on such autopilot a lot. There's a lot of things that just kind of
I think just as mothers, we only have so much capacity.
True.
You have to block some of the things out because of like,
You remember what's most important. Everything else
you
is
can
kind of...
store it. And like some of those things, the way I use this, well, you know how like the cloud, I store it in a cloud. Like I don't need it right now. It's in my mom's mind.
So that's funny you say that.
I don't need it right now. So it's like, okay.
Yep. In the cloud. There was a comedian, and I got to find it, where he talks about how, do you remember when you had to like defrag your computer? Where he talks
Long
about
time
the
ago.
mind and how to remember the things that you just need to know. It's like your brain has to defrag every once in a while and just spit out the shit that doesn't matter, just so it can hold on to the most important stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like I live my life all the time.
Yeah.
And whenever you need it again, you just like download it.
Yeah. Might take a bit, but
Yeah, exactly.
It's on dial up.
yeah, exactly. My computer's a little slow. It's kind of old now.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
That is funny. It's kind of scary though, because I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and I'm in the middle of
Aren't you wearing a true crime sweatshirt right now?
I noticed it too.
You are a fan.
Listen, the saying on the back is amazing. It says, "Let the women do
I
the
saw
work."
that.
What
Let the
it
women
says?
let the women do the work, because we get shit done.
Oh, yeah.
You can't rely on a man to do anything. You get it. Just let us. I'll take care of it.
And we'll take care of it in the same day, not in 2 months.
Exactly. Exactly. We'll figure out the problem. I got plenty of solutions. But I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and this one that I'm listening to right now, the lady has been wrongly convicted. They're asking her, they've got her in this interrogation room, and they're asking her, like, you need to tell me where exactly you were on this day, this time, your steps from the second you woke up until you discovered her child stabbed to death. They think she did it. Okay. Horrible. And she's like, she doesn't remember what she did all day. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if I were in her position, I would have no idea. I do the same thing every morning. Little things change, little conversations change, but it's the same routine again and again. And I could not pinpoint what day, what happened, and when. No. It's crazy. So it scares me that I'm on autopilot all the time. I'm not like really present in any moment of my life, I feel like, except for like when I have nothing. Like today, I am right here.
Well, and my memory's just crap. Like, that's why I love the podcast, because it's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
We'll record something like several weeks ago, like for our banter, like in the beginning. And then when she puts it into an episode, by that point, I forgot what we talked about. And then I hear it, and I always listen to it before it goes live. And I'm like, oh, that was funny. Like I listen to us like I'm listening to us as if I were a listener and not myself. And I'm like, well, we're pretty funny. I like us. I would listen to us.
Yeah.
But I forget what we talk about. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, what tools and tricks? Teach me everything you know right now about how to be present. Like, what would be the first thing that you do to be, because in order to find your happiness, I feel like you would really need to start focusing on being present.
Yeah, I have several meditations actually how to be present as well. Like, and any of you do meditations at all?
No, but I want to.
Yeah,
but I don't.
Because there's some really simple ones you can go through, and just to get in a present moment. It's the one that we're gonna do today will help a little bit as well. It will help a lot, but it just takes a practice, and after a while you're able to just, like, for me, I'm present most of the time. So I'm more, because I already practiced for such a long time. I practiced more than 20 years. And
it's kind of like things. That's just something.
For me, it's just something like that. If I really I live in a present moment, and I can go to like past and future, whatever I need to go for. So, but if I do need to focus back, I can just go 1, 2, 3. So that's as easy gets me back to the
kind of
moment.
like trained you into that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I did hypnobirthing. I had taken this class. I read a book and took a class on how to be really just relaxed through labor and delivery. And that was with my 4th kid, and it was
about being present in your body.
Yes. And like relaxing into the contractions or surges or whatever you want to call them, but it kind of really relaxed you into it, so you're not fearful, and then you're going to have a lot of pain and all of these things. But you start that practice of, I did a lot of like an inventory of my body.
Yep.
So in bed at night, I'd say my forehead is relaxed and my jaw is relaxed and my neck and my shoulders, and dotted all the way to the toes, and then start again and do it again. And, I did notice a lot that I'm very tense in certain areas, because every time I'd get back to that part, I'd have to relax it again. But I started that right at the very beginning of my pregnancy, and I practiced it throughout the entire pregnancy. And then so that by the time labor comes around, now I know exactly what to do or say what works for me to get me into this relaxed state. And it was very cool. So yes, I do understand that practicing gets you there.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I did the hypnobirthing class. Did we have the same teacher? Did we both do her? Yep. Same audio thing. I put me to sleep every time. Whenever I would listen to that recording, I could never get all the way through it because I was out.
Yeah, it's very relaxing.
Yeah, but that's what the one thing that with meditation I'm going to write, I have there as well. You actually, there's different types of meditations, like the one that you do for relaxation or falling asleep. is different, because in a real meditation, you're not supposed to fall asleep.
Well,
Right.
I wasn't supposed to fall asleep with this one
Yeah.
either. I was
Okay.
supposed
Yeah.
to do the inventory, like she was saying, of my body and like letting go of the tension from basically from your head all the way down to your toes. And I would listen to it at the end of a day, laying in my bed. So I'm already in a comfortable place. You know, when
Yeah.
you're pregnant, you're tired, you're exhausted, and I'd never
Yeah.
get through it. I would fall
And
asleep.
that's when you actually, what you needed was a sleep. Because
Yeah.
meditation is what you do. You're not supposed to fall asleep. Otherwise, you're just sleeping. You're not meditating. But what you actually needed was a sleep. You didn't
Yeah.
need meditation. You actually needed to sleep.
I was
Your
trying to
body-
prep.
Yeah.
I was trying to prep for my labor too,
Yeah.
and I found that I really wasn't doing that. What I learned in the hypnobirthing so much when I was in labor is I was focused. She was with me, and I was focusing on her voice when she was counting,
Yeah.
and that's what it was. Kind of, sort of like a meditation in a way.
Yeah.
And that's what I say as well when we teach something, or let me say, like, I'm the life coach or like coaching. Like, I need somebody to help me in hard situations as well. And I always say, it's like, we can't scratch our own back.
Right.
You know, like, at some point we can try to reach it. But it's like we need some other people, like you said, you needed her voice to do that for you. Because if you would have tried to do it with your own voice, you would have got distracted, but it was easier with her voice doing it for you. One thing with happiness, and what I want to talk about when people get through the hard situations, is to let everybody who's offering help take their help. Like one thing that I learned, I wish I would have learned it earlier. Like, I'm divorced. I learned it way after my divorce, because after divorce I was in this mindset that, I had to prove that I can do it myself. And I was like, finally, when I found the realizations, like, I don't have to prove anybody anything. I can have everybody help me, whoever wants to help. I can ask for help. I can take the help. I don't have to prove anybody that I can
Right.
do it all myself. And that realization made things so much easier.
Yeah.
I mean, I
That's
don't
just-
feel like we're meant to do everything on
No,
our
we're
own.
not.
You know,
But somehow, like, I had that mindset, and I
Yeah.
know a lot of people have this mindset, like, I have to prove that I can do everything by myself, and we don't have to do everything. Like you were saying, we don't have to do everything by ourselves. We're meant to have helping each other and doing things together, which is like you're being friends forever, and that is so much more joyful than if both of you would do things all by yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you imagine life without each other?
No.
I know. No, I don't even know where I wouldn't even. I think about this a lot. If I had never met her in kindergarten, then I probably would have never liked a band that I met my husband at the concert. I would have never been going to that concert
Yeah.
in a different state. So I wouldn't have any of my children. It's so crazy. It all starts with you, bro.
I know. I'm so special.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Love you.
I know. I love you.
That's why it's important to have all the people in your life and let them help.
Accepting help is very difficult for people, i.e. me, that I'm just coming out with all my problems
that's true.
today.
This is a therapy session in and of
Well,
itself.
that's what I do. That's what
Yeah.
I do. And that's what's like hard thing, like, because with my clients as well. And some of my clients know my other clients, but I don't even tell them that they're my clients, because I know so much of like the real things that are going on. So it was just like, nope, you can't say. And sometimes it's so intriguing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like so much drama and everything, which would like tell everybody, it's just like, nope, can't tell
Yeah.
anybody.
What do you do with all that information
know.
that you have?
Just enjoy it in my mind,
Yeah.
I guess. 'Cause I can't tell anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, because sometimes there's like cool drama, or like sometimes like things that are like
Connections that you're making.
not just connections. No, not the connections that I'm making, but it's like watching a drama movie and a
Right,
TV
right.
or
And
something.
you want to talk
like
to
this.
somebody about it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like sometimes it's not a positive thing. Sometimes there's like real like bad things going on, or something like I would not agree with,
Right.
and something that their friends would love to know.
Oh, I'm sure.
Friends. So but and then that's when it's when it's clients that who know each other, but I got used to it. It's not saying.
Do you have
anything.
any like friends that are in this
Avenue of work?
yes, thank you. Do you have any friends that are in this avenue of work that you can like say, minus names or something, but bounce ideas off of, or
have an outlet.
have an outlet for yourself, a
little
therapist or somebody?
A little bit, but not still not to that point.
You should get one, because therapists have therapists.
Yeah, no, I have like people that I have like I don't have therapists, but I have, like you said, people in that field, some other people from that field, but the same way, like I have few friends that I don't tell them the names, but to go through with my own things, I go to my friends, and I have few people that are like, I can call if I need to talk with somebody.
Yeah, because some of that stuff has got to be heavy on your heart, especially if it's not good. It's got to be tough. Yeesh.
Because I imagine if people are struggling to find happiness and coming to you to have you help them find it, are going to be carrying a lot.
I actually have to deal, that's a little bit different. I don't deal with the people who, that's what I teach the happiness on the side, but people who come for me for help are actually the ones that going through the hard situations.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not looking for happiness yet. They're not even thinking about happiness. They need to get through this situation first.
So if you're the happiness expert though, what is it that draws them to you?
To get through the situation, get to the other side, I would say that. To get to that other side.
Okay.
So you just have to go through steps. And I did one of the series of podcasts I did about exactly because of that reason that a lot of people didn't even think about happiness yet. And I did it about anxiety. So I had about 20 people talking about anxiety. Because people came to me with anxiety and they didn't think about happiness yet. So I had to figure out like how to get through the anxiety, and then we get to the happiness.
Right.
But to me, it seems like it's a natural, almost like primitive thing for them to maybe not necessarily acknowledge that they're coming to you looking for happiness, but like they really are. There's got to be something there subconsciously.
Yeah, there is.
Right.
And that's why, like I was saying, that where I get my clients, they just come to me.
Right.
Like they meet, like they start, I'm on some kind of event, they start talking with me. We start talking, and it's like, then they start spilling their things out.
Yes.
That's the way you start, like spilling your things out. I was like, okay.
Like they're drawn to your energy.
Yeah. And I had that since I was little. Since I was in high school, my friends, they came with their problems. They came to me. It's like, what are we going, like, I have this and this going on, like eating problems or breakup problems. And they came to me naturally. It was like, and then I didn't go learning psychology. They all wanted me to, but I went to learn clothing design instead. I did that for a while.
Yeah.
So that leads me to the question I've been wanting to ask. How did you get here? Like what happened in your life where you were like, I want to be a life coach? And then you kind of started to where you are now.
Well, I always had, like, since little, I had 3 interests. One was clothing design. One was making movies or something like this kind of type.
Production.
And actually, like, of writing and all that. And the third one was psychology. So I always kind of, like, went between 3 of them, learned all of them all at the same time. Reading psychology books, same time going in a clubs, doing like little movies and things, and same time drawing, doing clothing design, and
so your
sewing.
interests are kind of all over.
Yeah.
This is going to sound silly, but when were you born? What's your sign?
Leo.
Leo? I don't know much about Leos, but
I have 2 Leo children, and they're both very creative.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I don't know if that correlates with what Leos are typically are: headstrong and creative and emotional. But good or bad, like they're, it's not like they're not so boring where you bring something surprise to them and they're like, oh, cool. Like when they're excited, they are like excited, and it's really fun. When they're annoyed, They're real annoyed.
But they also like to make other people excited, right?
Very much. They love to make things for other people. Gifting is a love language of theirs. I don't know if it's their love, like the love language, but it's definitely a love language of theirs. I also have an Aries and a Virgo that are very much like me in the more like, no, I don't want to say they're like me, because I have a lot of like qualities of all kinds of signs. I don't really think signs.
You don't really
Yes,
like
it's
get
not a
into
huge,
it.
yeah.
I mean,
I just think it's fun.
I feel like I could close somebody could hand me my horoscope for the day and I could read it and be like, absolutely, totally me today. And it could be something for, a Gemini.
Right.
You know what I
No,
mean?
the daily stuff, I think it's a bunch of BS.
But yeah, I mean.
But like the characteristics, though, seem to be
True.
more in line with.
Yeah, no, you're
people
not
that
wrong
I know and I
there. Yeah, you're not wrong, but I think that a lot of them can be interchangeable as well.
I just know, like, for me, for example, I'm a Gemini. I have a lot of interest. That's what made me think when you were saying, I liked like 4 different things, and I kind of explored all of them. I feel the same kind of
Me
kind
too.
of way.
Me too.
Yeah.
I do all kinds of weird stuff. I've got a new interest every other week.
Yeah, you
That's-
do.
I think that's more interesting as well. This way it's more
100%.
exciting and everything. Like, and there's other people. That's why we're so different. There's other people who like to focus on one thing and they're really good in that one thing, and that's fine as well. We need those as well.
Yeah.
So we need all types of variety of people.
Yeah, we need that, like, brain doctor who only operates on a specific type of brain cancer. Like
Going
laser
back
focus on that
to
one
the
thing.
expert thing we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
We definitely need those people.
It's true.
But like for me and for you, it's like we have so many interests in so many things, but it's you can't. What am I trying to say here? Like it's too much. You
thin.
just spread too thin. You can't do all the things as much as you want to do all the things. Like she's a serial entrepreneur. She has ideas constantly. I mean, she's got 2 businesses right in this hallway, for crying out loud, plus the podcast. So that's 3 basically. And it comes down to time and money. Most of the
Exactly.
time and money.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't have to work, if I had like a rich husband, oh man, I'd be doing so many cool things.
So we
yeah.
say.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
I would
be
be
like,
doing-
if you had that like unlimited amount of money that comes, like there's so many things to do.
There really is. And it wouldn't even be like, I don't think I can ever be retired. Like I would have to fill my day up with something productive. Well, I
Yeah,
guess what
that'd be-
I deem productive. Maybe that's an issue I need to work out in therapy. But because doing nothing is productive sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
But like doing nothing all.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
There's times where I do nothing, maybe twice a year. I will sit
But
on my
that's-
couch and watch TV.
Yeah, but that's for your relaxation. You need it.
Right. But
That's
then
why
I
it's
feel so
productive.
guilty because I'm being so not productive. Like I'm not
From
doing.
society's viewpoint, you're being not productive, but you're productive in a way that your body needed that rest.
100%. And I binge reality TV and it's fantastic. And I eat snacks. I love it.
Now, your body doesn't need the reality TV or all the snacks. However,
It's healthy snacks.
okay.
Yeah.
And I had vegetables. I was munching down on carrots and like a veggie tray,
Good for you.
snacking.
But I had to learn that as well to get away with that guilt. I had the same thing. Like when I didn't do anything, I felt guilty, like I should be doing something. And I just had to learn to let go of that guilt. And I was like, okay, now I am on the couch watching the TV. To relate to it, Stephanie's looking at us like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
I rarely watch TV unless
Either
I'm
that or
going
I'll
to
read a
bed.
book. I read a book. Yeah, I've read 2 books this month already in little snippets. I'll read like 2 pages at a time.
Yeah, I have like 100 books that I've started and haven't finished. So
I
that's
literally
me.
have, my daughter counted all my books just in my closet. I've got over 100 stacked up on the floor,
I believe you.
and I keep buying more. And I'm reading books right now from the library. I'm like,
Are you
why do I
planning
do
to
this?
read them or?
I really want to. I saw something somewhere that said something around the line, like along the lines of having like being a book hoarder is really like internally, like subconsciously you're trying to buy time. Because I'm buying these books in the hopes of one day having enough time to read them. And I think it just says a lot that I want to read them.
You have to learn speed reading.
I do need to learn to read.
It's really
yes,
easy.
I need speed reading.
Yeah.
So we totally went the other direction. I'm sorry. So remember when we were kids and you had a cleaner that would come to your house once a week? I think her name was Anne.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, like, I never quite understood it back then, but, like, you guys would always be super frustrated that you would have to clean before she came. And I'm like, why would you have a cleaner? That's the purpose of having a cleaner come to your home. Why would you have to clean for the cleaner to come? That didn't make any sense until I was an adult and I hired a cleaning company. And it stressed me out so badly every single time because I was too worried about being judged and my house being a wreck because my cleaners couldn't come in and actually do the job that they were hired to do because they're tripping over all my kids' shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's really cool what Rattled Concierge does. They come in and they take care of all that crap and you just kind of leave it be.
I know, I love that. They come in, they tidy, they organize, they meal prep, they do some light cleaning, whatever you need, especially if you're like a first-time parent when you just have a baby and everything is full-blown chaos.
Oh, those postpartum days? Oh, man.
To have somebody come in and just say, don't touch anything, we've got it. We'll fold the laundry, we'll, put the meal in the crock pot, or we'll clean your kitchen and wash your dishes. We'll empty your dishwasher. We'll put the shoes on the shoe rack because inevitably all the kids are going to leave them all over the house. We'll do all of that stuff for you. Just chill out, sit down, enjoy your baby. Or, when you're working and you just cannot organize and keep your house picked up, that's what they're here for.
That is such a blessing, man, because that's my biggest issue. It's just it's the clutter. It's the day-to-day stuff. That's why I can never actually get to the nitty-gritty and do the real cleaning in my house because all this other stuff is getting in my way.
Yeah.
I'm too busy just going through the motions of doing the dishes and doing the laundry. Meanwhile, my floors are like sticky.
Right.
And stuff is sticking to my feet like I'm on the beach.
Right.
Like sand sticking to my feet.
Yeah, because you need somebody to come in and do the other stuff so you can actually focus on, like, I don't know, maybe being happy, your life, hanging out with your kids, things like that.
Yeah.
So
check out Rattled Concierge. They'll save your life.
100%. rattledconcierge.com.
Can I go back to when you were talking about your interests and how you were interested in psychology and you said clothing and design, you said production. What was the other one? There was one
The
more.
production was together with the movie making.
Right. Okay. I thought there was one more. So yeah, how did all that segue into where you are now?
Situation though as well.
Yeah. Are you open to talk about that?
Because after I would say I did a life coaching license before my divorce, but after my divorce, I had to figure out how to make a living and everything daily basis.
Well, what triggered you to get that license to begin with? Why did you want to do that?
I don't know, natural feeling.
Yeah, just an instinct.
Yeah.
Like, this seems interesting. I want to try this.
Because it was aligned with me doing the psychology and everything like this. But with the coaching, you don't have to, what I see better with the coaching, and that's why I don't get into one of those programs when you get licensed from somewhere else, because you're going to be limited to their rules.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why Tony Robbins, he's not into one of, what is it? I don't know if they call certifications or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't get any of that as well because it limits of what you can do.
Yeah.
You have to follow their rules. Like you said with the doctor.
Yeah.
If there's something that they don't know and they can't do,
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to tell you, oh, you should always be doing this, which they know should be actually good. But since they're licensed, they can't tell you to do it.
Right. They have
so
to
it's
follow
licensing. So that's why I was looking at the certificate, but the licensing, because if you do something different, then they will take your license away, and that will look bad.
Yeah.
So with coaching, and Tony Robbins as well, because you can see sometimes he used like vulgar words or something like this. And if you would be a licensed therapist or something like this, you're not allowed to do that.
Right. You're stuck in a box.
Yeah, you're stuck in a box. You have to prescribe this medicine. That's all. That's you have to do, and you can't say like go eat healthy food.
Right. Right. My mom used to listen to Tony Robbins in the car on tape when I was a kid. I just remember his voice being like so deep, and I don't know what he was talking about. I was way too young, but then I remember I saw he had like a documentary, like I'm Not Your Guru or something back in probably 2017, 2018, something like that. And I was skeptical because I'm like, oh, this is the guy that tells you how you should live your life or whatever, And I was like, yeah, cool. And I watched it. I really liked it. It was really good. I was very surprised that I liked it that much.
Full transparency, I know nothing about Tony Robbins.
No?
Nothing.
Watch that documentary. It's actually very good. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
It's very, because it was all of his stuff back in the 90s and stuff it's real self-helpy. And I was just like, I don't know, not for me. But then the documentary, I'm like, oh, he's got a lot of really good points. He's a smart guy,
And he helped a lot of people.
He really
the world
does,
and everything like this. So
yeah, he really does. And he's not a certified mental health therapist or anything.
No.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's why I think as well, because it limits you. I don't like that limitation.
Yeah, I understand.
Because I would have to like only be doing the life coaching. I would not be able to do like, I do also yoga nidra and all the things on the side. So I combine a lot of things together, which when you're licensed, again, you have to do only one thing.
Exactly. But when you're licensed, you can make a lot of money.
That's where it gets tricky. Like when you were saying with like, and that's why I think for a lot of people, we do live in that robotic state because we do have to make that, first of all, we have to make a living. Just to like have everything what we need. So that's when we fall into that circle of just need to make this amount of money in a month first, and then how we can make extra.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the hardest part because if I wanted to be a licensed therapist, you can really get a job anywhere. There's so many opportunities for you, especially if you've got that license. Now, a life coach is great. The potential you can make as much money. Sky's the limit, really, right? Because you can take your business and grow it as big as you want it to be. But now it's up to you to do it.
And that's when it becomes not anymore life coaching, but it comes running a business.
Yes.
So you run 3 businesses, so you know that.
And I want to do another business. I want to do a business consulting where I help people start or grow a cleaning service. Since I know so much about it, I think it would be really good.
If we could,
that's my 2-year time. That's my 2-year plan.
Just the amount of business ideas you've had in like the last year or two, it would fill a page. She's ridiculous.
More than a page. Mine is the same.
Yeah,
I have a journal for like all the ideas that maybe one day.
I mean, we've had ideas together too. I mean, over the past, for a point in our lives, we were doulas together because we love pregnancy and birth and breastfeeding and all those things. That didn't pan out, unfortunately, because it was just bad timing. But
it was just hard. Even if it weren't bad timing, even if we did it now and my kids are older, I just don't like being on call at midnight, 2 a.m. I have to have my phone
that's what
on.
I mean by timing. It's the on-call life just did not fit into our lifestyle.
I hate it.
I think about, maybe in the future when my kids are out of the house, I could go back to that. That avenue of kind of work. But just didn't fit into motherhood.
It's hard. It's very hard.
All right, so we are about to do a live demonstration. Well, not necessarily live, but we're doing a demonstration. I don't know what to say.
Of what do we call it?
We're gonna do a little a multidimensional practice.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so we're doing a practice.
Yeah, we're doing multidimensional perception practice.
Okay.
And this one is kind of specifically for somebody who's gone through the trauma or going through the trauma.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's relates to all that.
Okay.
So Piret's going to be walking us through this, and there will be some moments of silence,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't mean that to stop listening. Doesn't mean anything went wrong. It just means that it's part of the
Yeah.
meditation that we're doing. So
And do
just
it with us.
Stick around with us. You can do it together.
All the listeners that do it with us. So I'm going to explain in the beginning a little bit about it as
Okay.
well. So
Okay,
will be easy.
let's do it.
So, and for this one, you can do it either laying down, if for the listeners,
Mm-hmm.
or you can be also sitting, wherever you are, or what are you doing. So, and for the listeners, the ones who they know that they get usually cold,
Mm-hmm.
it's good to get the blanket or something.
Okay.
So, and so let's get right into it.
Yes. Let's go.
Good. Okay. Lie down or get comfortable in your sitting position.
That means I got to undo my pants. They're a little tight.
So you're gonna, and you right now have to adjust your positions right now as well, because you have to put your feet hip apart. So you have to put your feet down and hip apart. It's kind of that's why that's important as well, because then you're not holding things back in your body.
Right.
So it's just making your body relax and let their energy flow through. And your hands can be on the side or they can be on your lap, but don't cross them. They can be in your lap however you want them, so they're comfortable. Most important that you're comfortable.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable in that position, that's what's important. And now relax your entire body. And make the final adjustments that you need to feel comfortable, and close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath and just breathe normally. Just observe your breath. Now take a long breath in, hold it, 1, 2, 3, and breathe out. Remember to stay focused and conscious through practice. Do not fall asleep. Keep on listening to me. It is not practice if you fall asleep. As with meditation, if you fall asleep, you are not meditating. You are simply just sleeping. Do not fall asleep while practicing. We are going to awaken the awareness. I'm going to name a part of the body. Repeat the name of the body part in your mind and become aware of that. We're going to do it quickly. Rotation has to happen mechanically. You don't need to concentrate. Starting from the right side of your body. Right hand thumb, right hand second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, top of your right hand, palm of your right hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, right side of your body, right hip, right upper leg, knee, right lower leg, ankle, heel, right top of your foot, sole of your foot, the right big toe, right second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Now move your attention to the left side of your body. Left hand thumb, left hand second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, top of the left hand, palm of the left hand, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, left side of your body, left hip, upper leg, knee, lower leg, ankle, heel. Left of your foot, sole of your foot, your left big toe, left second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Now we're going over to the center, starting with the back. Your shoulder blades, your upper back, your lower back, your spine from top to bottom, whole back together, front of the body, top of the head, ears, eyebrows, space between the eyebrows, eyes, nose, lips, cheeks, chin, neck, chest, stomach. Now feel all your body together. Become aware of your whole body. Next, you are going to feel sensations in the whole body with the help of your perception. Feel your whole body. All your body is getting cold. Your whole body is getting very cold. The sensation of cold is in your whole body. Your hands are cold. Your feet are cold. You feel cold. Now the cold is getting replaced with warmth. You are using your mind to make your body feel warm. Your hands are getting warm. Your feet are getting warm. Your whole body feels nice and warm. Your body is getting warmer and warmer. And now you're starting to feel hot. Your whole body is hot. Your hands and feel hot. Your body is starting to feel really heavy. While your body is starting to feel heavy, the temperature of your body is getting perfectly comfortable. Your whole body is getting very heavy. Your head is heavy. Your arms and hands are heavy. The middle of your body is heavy. Your hips are heavy. Your legs and feet are heavy. You feel so heavy. Now you're becoming light again. Your head, arms, hands, body, hips, legs, and feet are starting to feel lighter and lighter. Your body is so light that it is floating. You are weightless. You are so light, you are floating. Now you are going to visualize time dimensions. I'm going to name an object and you're going to visualize it with your mind. A playground. A swing on the playground. A child is running towards the swing. Child gets on the swing. Child starts to swing. Swing is going higher and higher. You acknowledge now that the child is you. You are on the swing, swinging higher and higher. Next, your mind is going to connect to your past. Anywhere in the past it will take you, between birth and now. I am going to be quiet for the next 3 minutes. Don't worry about how short or long the time will feel for you. Let your mind wander about your past, and only when you hear me talking again will you bring your awareness back to me. Remember, do not fall asleep. You have to stay conscious and connect with your subconscious. Let your conscious and subconscious wander in your past. 3 minutes starts now. Focus back to my voice. We're moving quickly from the past to the current moment in your life. Visualize a door. You open the door and enter to an empty room. On the right and left side of the room are windows. Windows are open. On the wall in front of you is a big mirror. You see yourself in the mirror. You see your whole body in the mirror. You see your face in the mirror. For the next 3 minutes, you are going to wander in your present moment. Your conscious and subconscious can see the present with clarity. Don't control your thoughts, just observe. You are simply the observer. You are observing your current life. I'm going to be quiet for 3 minutes. Again, don't worry about how long or short it will feel for you. When you hear my voice again, then the 3 minutes is up. 3 minutes starts now. Focus on my voice again. You are going to have new visualizations. Blue sky, sun shining in the sky. Birds are flying. You are flying. You are flying with the birds. You are looking down to the ground from the sky. You see the ground from the sky. You are going to use your mind to visualize your future. You're going to visualize your life 1 year from now. Visualize positive, realistic outcomes for the year. Next 3 minutes, you're letting your mind visualize your future. Let your conscious and subconscious connect and visualize your future. What would your life will be like 1 year from now? I'm going to be quiet for 3 minutes. Don't worry about how long or short it will feel for you. 3 minutes is over when you feel my voice again. 3 minutes starts now. Bring your focus to your breathing. Feel your breath, just your normal rhythm of breathing. Next, take a long, deep breath in, hold, 3, 2, 1, and breathe out. Feel your whole body. Feel the perfect, comfortable temperature of your body. Feel the perfect weight of your body. Make sure you can feel your whole body. Rotate your wrists and rotate your feet. Open your hands and stretch your fingers. You're ready to open your eyes. And practice is over.
Ready for a nap.
I know. I know.
Now you talk.
Oh,
right.
wow.
Where did you go in your past? The playground.
Well, I started at the playground, and then I'm like, okay, think of something happy in your past. And I thought about going to Blockbuster on the weekends.
So I saw Fantasy Works.
I did too.
I saw the tire swing.
That's our playground as a kid.
I did not see like a traditional swing. I saw the tire swing.
I don't remember a tire swing. I did see regular swings though.
And I saw me running around on Fantasy Works and then getting on my bike and then going all around the school and then going through, what was it?
Calusa Trace.
No, going all around the school and then coming out on a Lee Road and going to Buena Vista and then cutting on that side road and then wrapping back around and then riding to your house and seeing if you were home.
That's cute.
And then I saw your room. I don't remember much about your old house, but I saw your room and I saw your Titanic poster and your wallpaper. And then I was like, that's all I did. I went in, I saw your room, and I went out. And then I went back across the street to go home, and that's when it stopped.
That's cute. Yeah, you followed directions. My brain goes everywhere.
I could not, the temperature thing, I could not, my body just stayed the same. I could not feel the temperature thing.
I felt the warmth. I could definitely like it. And then the heaviness.
I felt the heaviness.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Felt
was
the
cool.
heaviness. I had trouble with the flying with the birds thing. I kind of just saw a beach. Is really what I visioned.
Yeah, a lot of it. A year from now, I was decorating my house.
Yeah.
I move things around in my brain, like redecorate. So I'm like, that's how my house is going to be set up a year from now. I don't know.
So what else did you do in your past in that one?
I was thinking about going to Cart World because those were our Saturday fun things to do. It was Blockbuster and Cart World.
What was Cart World?
Cart World was over there where Colonial, the overpass over 41.
Yeah, was that like Mike Greenwell's?
No, that's all the way on Cape.
No.
It's where Colonial now has the overpass over 41 to go to Cape.
Yeah.
But it's like right
Yeah,
there where
I can see it in my head, but I don't remember it being called Cart World.
It was like Zoomers.
Yeah.
It's called Cart World.
I hit the jackpot there on one of the little thing that goes around and around and around and around, and I stopped it. I was there for some birthday party, and I got a picture of me standing there with my mom with like millions of tickets coming out. It was at that place. I remember it.
Yeah, that was good. I felt like a lot of my attention would I wouldn't realize I was so deep in that state right before you fall asleep, and something would draw my attention right back to like present.
Like
Her stomach growling,
my
or
stomach
the guy's door next door.
background noises.
Yeah, or the car, the loud motorcycle. And then I would get into this weird dreamlike state and then come right back in.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing as well. Well, when you're actually in that state when you're falling asleep as well, same thing happens with you at home as well. It's like you're almost falling asleep and then you hear like something in a different room and it's just like you're back in. So it's you kind of are, you're not sleeping,
Right.
but you're in between like falling asleep. So you still hear all those things on the side.
Yeah, it was such an interesting feeling because I'm like, oh man, I was almost asleep, but was I? You know?
Right.
It's that interesting in between. It's hard to name it, but everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious to know for you, but the thing with the room with the windows and the mirror, what did you look like? What did you see in that?
Myself.
What were you wearing?
Well, it was more like a weird sundress, but that's weird because I don't wear sundresses. So
Okay, I was naked, so I don't know what the hell that's about.
I actually never heard that before, but
No?
that's really cool.
no,
I just saw
God,
really,
no.
That makes
really
sense.
bright window light,
That
like
makes
the
sense,
windows,
yeah.
really bright light, and the whole wall was a big mirror, and I was standing there naked. And
it
then
was like an old house for me, like not an old house of mine, but like an old house built in like
it was
the
just a
1800s.
plain, like sterile room, just white walls with big windows, and then. But like, not couldn't see anything outside the windows. It was just the light
Yeah.
coming in, and then
That's so
illuminating
interesting.
me with nothing on.
But I'm
Hilarious.
sure
Kinda
like
scary.
a lot of people actually have that, but like I think I've had that as well. Like I haven't had like people saying it out loud that they were naked. But
Yeah, I
I've
was
seen
naked.
myself naked as well.
Yeah.
Like that.
And then, because you segued from there into the, like, was it that was the visualizing, like, your current life? And I couldn't figure out how to get out of that room. I was still seeing myself standing there. And it took a while. So it felt like those 3 minutes went by really quick.
The second one did.
Once I started, then I was like, okay, what does my daily life look like? You know, I was like, then I started seeing myself driving my kids to school and going to work and just all the normal autopilot crap. What was your future?
too.
What was your future?
That was me decorating my house.
Decorating your house.
Yeah.
Mine was us having our own studio
That'd be
outside of this office, and like setting up for video. And I kept
Funny
seeing,
you
I
say
kept,
that.
I kept seeing us like troubleshooting, like me, like setting up the video camera and having like our lighting and going through all of the, the learning curves of how we got started with this, and then, having to learn again something new, but me at least having a little bit of experience because of course the photography and video is a bit different, but bringing in all my like extra equipment and shit.
Yeah. How fun.
Yeah, that sounds real like a lot of fun and all the things. So that kind of is good as well. So it's kind of like shows as well that you already worked through the process of trauma and all the things. So because none of you brought up the trauma in that situation, so you processed it really. In this case, I would say you have processed everything really good.
I guess. I don't know. She goes to therapy. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I think that because ours are there, when I dip back into remembering what had happened, that's when things get kind of sad. I think about it, but I don't stay there.
You're
know?
not supposed to stay there.
No, I don't.
Nobody's supposed to stay there.
I've been real good about that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I teach as well, and there's few different like tools people can use not to stay there, because a lot of people, what they do, they make the trauma of their life instead of just having like it's part of my life, but it's not my life.
I know somebody very close to me that is his life.
Yeah, ruins his life. Yeah.
So you can't do that. There was like one book long time ago that I read was Tuesdays with Maury. And
Maury Povich?
No.
Oh.
It's just like no. So it was a person older person who was dying, and he was talking with his younger student. The student asked, like, doesn't it bother you that you know that you're gonna die? And he said, like, I only think about it 15 minutes a day. And he had like, I wake up in the morning and think about it 15 minutes a day, and I let myself to be sad for that 15 minutes, and the rest of the day I'm not worried about that at all. So it's like actually has like this time limit where you have a time that you only allow yourself to worry for that time, and the rest of the day you just go with the normal day with the way they go. So that's one tool. You have like a daily thing. But I learned just lately from somebody else, I don't remember who talked that, they put it in their schedule because they were like this compulsive worrying person who constantly every day worries about something. Instead of that, they start putting in their schedule, like on Tuesday, like from 9 to 9:30, I'm worried. I worry through, I put the like list of all the things I'm gonna worry and everything like this, and they learned to do worry on only that scheduled time,
Mm-hmm.
which usually took away like all day, like worrying about things. Now they're like, okay, I don't have time to worry right now. They maybe wrote that thing down,
Yeah.
and then they worried on that Tuesday at between 9 and 9:30. The rest of the time they did whatever they needed to be doing.
I kind of told my 11-year-old to do something along those lines because she has a lot of anxiety. She worries about all these little things that might come true, might not come true, but if they do come true, it ends up not being a big deal. She just really festers on very small details of life. And I told her, I said, why not like give yourself time to be anxious? Okay, this time of day, this is when I'm going to, worry about all these things, and she's like, I know, but I don't know how to do that. And I'm like, I don't know how to help you do that, but sounds good.
Yeah, it's just like the same thing with all the things. You just have to practice, and when you practice, it just becomes part of it. And maybe I don't know how old she is.
She's 11.
Okay, so right now she does that, but it might help her from 2 years, 3 years from now. She's gonna figure out how to do it, and then she's able to do that.
Right. Yeah, it takes
At
time.
least you give her a tool.
Right. Yep.
So she doesn't have to grow up and like live like that for the rest of her life.
Right. And I'm trying to like help her see that all of these things that she's worrying about, when they happen or when they come true, was it as bad as you thought? And she says, well, no, I didn't even think about it in the moment. Okay. Well, this is something that you'll take next time you start worrying, that you'll find the pattern in this as you age, that most of the time your biggest fear about something isn't what's going to happen, and maybe that anxiety will kind of lessen as she ages and has more experience.
Yeah, it's like worrying ahead of the time.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to learn from that, like what is actually makes sense. You don't worry, but you prepare. It's like, okay, if that would happen, what would I do? And that's all. Right. You have to like keep on worrying, like, what if it will happen? What if it will happen? Then you're already like, oh, if it will happen, I'll do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a plan in place and then move on. Think about other things.
Yeah. I feel like anxiety is so prevalent now. It was like, I remember like several years ago, and it was like a buzzword. It was like the new thing that people like, even if they weren't, formally diagnosed with anxiety, it was like the cool new thing to say, well, I have anxiety.
Right.
And it got to a point where it was like, at least in my perception, it was obnoxious. But I know it's a real thing. People do suffer with anxiety.
Yeah, of course.
So like what, can you dwell on, talk about anxiety a little bit? Because you had mentioned actually it earlier when we first started talking that people were coming to you with anxiety. So.
Yeah, that's the thing and like you were saying, like there were people who actually had anxiety, and there are people who were saying they have anxiety because now it's a
like what's the difference between anxiety and just natural worry? Because I feel like some people think that they have anxiety, but they don't.
Yeah, and that is the natural worry. The real anxiety is when you can't control it. Like it takes everything over. Shuts your mind down and everything like this. You can't function. Even if it's like 10 minutes or something, you can't function at all. They can lead to the panic attack.
Yeah.
When they completely shut down and their brain doesn't function of figuring things out and telling like everything is okay.
Yeah. It's like the threshold for anxiety. Like to say you have anxiety is kind of just disappeared. Anybody can say it, but people who have true anxiety, it's something that completely takes over their existence for a certain amount of time. Where like I could say I have anxiety because I worry about this, that, and the other, but it's not disrupting my day.
Right.
And anxiety can be good for you. It gets you motivated to make sure things get done or whatever it is. For me, it's like time anxiety. I got to be on time. I got this. My schedule is so packed that I get concerned that I'm not going to make it.
Right.
And I usually do. And if I don't make it, oh well,
Yeah,
life happens.
Yeah.
it's kind of would say like I'm anxious instead
Yeah.
of like I have anxiety, which is already like medical term,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just anxious about that moment. There's like situation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good to reframe it. But I think a lot of people people want to be diagnosed with something.
I know. I feel like that too.
And I actually asked that question from one person, I think online. I put the question out there to see what people will say, like, why you need to label.
Exactly.
Most people felt the same way we were feeling, that we don't really need it. Well, one person actually explained it to me because that gives them a comfort of knowing that there's something not wrong with them.
That's true.
So that it was weird for me as well, because I don't need it, but for her, she needed it because it made her feel that there's nothing wrong for her because she has this label, and because of that label, she's feeling like that.
Got it. I mean, it
Not
makes
like-
sense. You're trying to categorize how you're feeling, and now you've got a category you can put it in, and maybe there's tools out there to help now that there's a name for it.
It's
Yeah.
interesting though, because labeled or not labeled, you still have it.
Right. But if you know what it is, or you can recognize it and name it, then maybe there's something that there's tools you can look up, or somebody you can talk to, or something, you know, maybe.
I feel like now, like having anxiety now has been replaced. Lately the newest buzzword I keep reading is neurodivergent.
Well,
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
now ADHD too. Everybody
Yeah.
claims that ADHD.
And everybody's trying to be autistic as well now.
I know, I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about the overdiagnosis of our culture. And they were talking about how like people it's like they want to be on the spectrum, or they want to have this, because the spectrum is so wide, that the people who truly need that help, that are never going to live alone, that are always going to need somebody to help them.
Like, they're really, the way I started doing it as well, I start looking autistic differently. I start putting like it, instead of putting right now, and they put it in a spectrum, so they view it as a line. I put it like in the middle of like a circle. The circle is like a normal, and then goes one side goes like autistic, like the people who, the old type of autistic,
Right.
what it originally was.
Yes.
Where they can't function, they have problems of functioning, and the view of the world is different, and sensory issues and everything like that. So that's on one side. But other side is just people whose brain is just different. You know, like they're
Which
more,
almost is everybody.
yeah, and they're creative, or they just take longer to think. They have to process things through. They feel more, or something like this. But now they put it all like in a spectrum,
Yeah,
and
it's
they're
gotten
all
so.
the same.
What's the word? Convoluted.
Yeah.
Like it's just so. Even my husband, he's got some friends that are on the spectrum, and then he always says, "I think we're all a little bit on the
Yes, we are. I
spectrum,"
think
and I'm
so,
like,
too.
then that's a problem.
That's a problem, because there's no differentiation between the people who truly, truly need the help and those who don't.
Right.
You know, I know in the school system, they're having a hard time because not everybody, all of these people are coming out and saying, you know, my kid's been diagnosed and now we need accommodations and all of this, just for minor things that when we were kids, it was just like, well, that kid's just a little bit different. He, you know, is slower to read, or he's not as social by second grade and things. And now it's like, we just don't have the tools and the resources in our public school system to accommodate every single person's learning style. Unfortunately, we just don't have the budget for that,
Right.
because now everybody wants accommodations. It's crazy.
And like you said, the
yeah.
things that were normal for us when we were growing up, it was just like, it's just your personality. There's
Yeah. You just have a different personality or a different learning style. What's wrong with that? Why has everybody got to label it and say I'm on the spectrum?
because
Maybe,
they got that
but
services, and they like, it became, I think maybe a little bit as well, because it became a business.
yeah,
So now they want to label it so they can give you medication and
Yeah.
treatments and therapies and all the things for more people, sell it more. But then, like you said, it takes away from the people who actually need it.
yeah,
Because there should be more resources for those kids and adults who actually really need it, towards to other ones who can they might get different services instead of taking away the monetary. I think they get like money supports or something for the people who are autistic. So,
I mean, there's some people who are, it's a rough go in life for them, and then there's nothing that they can do. You know, I've got a customer of mine whose son, he's in a day program. He's like 28. He can take care of himself if he's home alone for a while, but he walks around, he paces, and he screams words, and he's very sweet, but there's no way that lifelong he can care for himself. He's gonna have to have somebody care for him and make sure he can't work. There's just absolutely, he's autistic.
Yeah, I have several friends who kids are autistic.
Yeah,
yeah,
completely self-reliant on other people.
Yeah, but they even like.
But he can shower and eat and feed himself something out of a bag. He doesn't know how to cook. Probably could never cook. Funny story. One time his parents were out of town. He lives with his older brother, and his older brother is at work, and we clean his house, and I came to clean. He's sitting on the couch, and his parents are they're both military, retired military, so they're very strict about cleanliness and all of that. Well, mom and dad are out of town. His brother's at work. He's sitting on the couch, feet on the coffee table, watching Double Dare from the 90s, laughing his butt off. He thinks like that's kind of where his age in his head is probably like, 9-10 years old. And he's got a bag of those cheese puffs in one arm and then a 2-liter of orange soda in the other. And he is living his best life, laughing, just orange everywhere. His teeth are orange, his face is orange, his fingers are orange, and he's just having the time of his life. It was the sweetest and cutest thing. I'm like, oh my God, you're so happy right now. He's like, I'm so happy. I'm like, I love this. Because, mom and dad would never.
Right.
Never.
Do not wipe your hands on the couch.
No,
no.
Why do you even have Cheetos? Who got those for you? An orange soda out of a 2-liter.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's just taking this 2-liter and just glug, glug, glug.
Like, don't leave the evidence.
Yeah.
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 It's going to be orange.
Oh, yeah.
Dust everywhere.
And then it was the same time where he told us that he needed us to put his comforter on with the right side needs to be up because it's a double-sided comforter. And I'm like, okay, which one to you is the right side? Because there's 2 sides and they're both to have designs on them. So which one is the correct one? And he's like, duh, this one is the correct one. So I took 2 pictures, one of the correct one and one of the not correct one. And I had edited the picture with an X on the not correct one and a big green check mark on the correct one and uploaded it to our system so the whole team knows this is the correct side. He must have it. And it's just so sweet. He's so sweet.
Aww.
And he's just he's so cool, but he's definitely very young-minded. He's going to have help for the rest of his life. But somebody who just doesn't like being around people because people make them anxious, I don't feel like that should be on the same spectrum.
No.
Yeah, I don't think like they should have like put a different name for that other side, where it's like not to label it in a spectrum autism.
Right.
It's just like if you need to label it, just label it. They think differently.
Right. Or if you want, label that autism and label the more severe type something so we all know.
Something different.
Something
the
different.
Autistic came first.
Right,
so
that's
first
true.
It was just like the people who were really autistic.
Well,
like
now
that's
it's
the ones that
so
Yeah.
mished together with people who are relatively normal that might just,
because they added
quirky.
more to it.
quirky.
They're
Yeah,
just
it's
quirky.
a great way. Great
Like
way
the
to
one
explain it.
of like the therapist that I know, she was saying same way. Like it was like they just add so much, like ADHD as well. They add so many, like what it was originally, and now just they add well this one looked like too long to the left. Let's add her to there as well because now
Right.
looking too long for the left is considered ADHD.
Right. I mean,
You
I
got
think we all
distracted.
have
You got
ADHD issues.
Exactly. You
We all
got
do.
distracted.
Right. I mean, in the world we live in, distraction is everywhere.
Exactly.
That's
So
what
it's
our
easy to get distracted.
our church service was on yesterday. Was all about distractions.
They're everywhere.
And I was like, oh man. And he talked a lot about his phone, and I was like, preach.
True.
So bad. We're all terrible. So tell us about, you have one book. So tell us about your second book, 'cause I know that's in the works.
Oh, I can talk about it. Let's talk about something else.
You can't talk about it? You got to keep it
Not
quiet?
yet.
Under
Yeah,
wraps?
keep it
Yeah.
quiet.
Okay, so here's the deal. When the new book comes out, then you got to come back and talk about it.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, I hope to come out really soon. It's on my head, but somehow it's out. So
Good.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. We're excited.
Awesome. And can you share a little bit about what it's going to focus on?
It's focused on happiness and money.
Ooh, I like happiness and I like money. Money makes me happy. Anybody who says that money doesn't buy happiness, money would fix like more than half of my problems.
Yeah.
That book is about that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's gonna help you with that.
Okay.
All right. So how can people find you if they want to work with you?
Easiest is through my website, bypiret.com. That's my website.
Bypiret.com?
Yeah.
All
So
right.
It comes together by Piret.com. And from there, it's just the email and phone number. You can contact with me. But I would like everybody to subscribe to my YouTube.
Yeah, what's your YouTube handle?
Piret Happiness Expert. That's where I have the previous shows that I did about happiness and everything like that. And now I'm starting to teach the multi-dimensional perception from there as well.
Okay, cool. I'm going to check that out because I want to know more about that.
Yeah. And thank you for doing our in-studio meditation practice. That was nice.
That was very nice.
It starts differently because when you do it first time, it's one way. When you do it second time, then it already becomes deeper. And third time, you might, like you said, this time your mind wandered away occasionally like this.
Mm-hmm.
But by the second and third time, your mind already knows what to do and goes right into it. And that's what it's supposed to be doing.
I felt like the first 3 minutes was the longest.
Mm-hmm.
The second and third one were much shorter for me, but they were the same amount of time.
Do you want me to tell you a secret?
Yeah.
I think that first one was 4 minutes.
Okay. That's okay.
I think it was 4 minutes. I think the way I counted it, it was like, I think it was 4 minutes. Later, I started thinking about it. Was it 3 or 4?
That's so funny. It did feel longer, but I imagine that's whether it was 3 minutes or 4 minutes, it's pretty typical. You know, like driving somewhere, it takes forever to get there, and then it takes no time to get back.
Right.
When you're not familiar.
I always do the same thing.
Yeah, when you're not familiar with the area, it takes forever. You're like, where am I? You know, and then when you leave, you're just like, oh, that was fast.
Yeah.
Can you share like maybe 3 good little chunks of knowledge for finding happiness to end on?
First one that I always want to say, like, happiness is something that you can't be 24/7. You have other feelings, and you don't have to be 24/7. You just have to be happy most of the time, and you have to know how to get back to being happy. Because you have the sadness, fear, anger, all those feelings you need as well as a human, and they're natural. So when you had those other feelings, don't feel bad about having them. You just have to acknowledge them, get through them, maybe work on them, see what the issue is, and then try to go find the positive outcomes again and get back to positive mode and things like that. And the second thing I would say that you have to find out what is happiness for you. So not what everybody else thinks happiness is or what happiness is supposed to be doing and what people say, oh, you have to do this, sit on the floor 10 minutes a day, every day, and they will be happy. It will not work for everybody. You have to figure out what makes you feel happy. Actually, if you want to end with that, I like with all my podcasts, I always ask the person that question. And I'll start with Stephanie. What makes you happy? What your perception of things? Doesn't have to be anything specific, just simple thing, 3 simple things that make you feel happy.
Music, like listening to my favorite music or seeing my favorite music live. That's like my favorite hobby. People, connection with people, like being with people that I love, like Victoria and my husband and my kids. And then maybe one more thing. What's one more thing?
Can be like, think about this one. Is some kind of action, some kind of person, or some kind of item?
I don't know. Not worrying about money. I know.
Yeah.
I feel like I shouldn't say that, but like when times in our life when, you know, I know that our bills are paid and we have a little extra and you can just like breathe a little lighter, you know, I wouldn't say that necessarily. I guess I wouldn't say that necessarily makes me happy. That makes me more content.
No, you can. You actually, that's what I'm gonna write in my new book as well. You can say that it makes you happy.
Yeah.
It does make you, because it really
Just
does.
makes me more content. I wouldn't
And
necessarily mean happy, but
like you said in the beginning as well, the happiness and feeling safe.
yeah, safe
makes
and
you feel
financially
safe.
secure is a form of safety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Victoria, what makes you feel happy?
Mine are more like, I guess, tangible things. I love my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Just have like night bedtime. Like, you know, sometimes getting to it doesn't make me happy because if there's so much left to do. But when I'm in my bed at night, I'm like, oh, I'm so happy to be here.
That's a good one.
I know.
Can I
So
add that one
good.
to my list? I love to sleep.
And I really like food. I love food.
I knew you were going to say that.
I love it. It's made me happy since I was a kid. I love food. And I love caffeine. I love my coffee in the morning. That makes me very happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love my family and I like
That's a
yada yada. But like the things that I look forward to, it's not that I don't look forward to being with my kids. But coffee is never talked back to me.
Right?
You know what I mean? My bed doesn't yell at me and tell me you're annoying.
I realized I was a little bit hesitant when I was like, oh, being around the people that I love.
My
like
kids,
my friends.
my
My
husband.
kids came down the list. They were like number 3 on that. It was friends, husband, kids. Traveling with my friends. That's
Traveling
amazing.
with my kids.
Yep.
Just got to keep it real here.
That's what you have to see. Like, that's why you have to take that happiness that's individual to you, because you start saying things that people usually say.
Yes.
Right.
So, and then we have to get away from what people usually say. Oh, those things make me happy, because that's like everybody's expecting you to say that, and go back to like, my bed makes me happy.
Yeah.
That's what
My
makes
coffee.
me happy.
My
My
bed.
coffee,
Dogs make
my
me
bed,
happy.
and my food. That's
See,
what
dogs
makes
don't
me
make you happy because you have one. I don't have one. So when I see dogs in public, I'm like, oh, they're so cute. And I like,
Yeah, until you get one.
right.
Listen, I love my dog, but the problem is she loves too much. She loves too hard
You
and
make
too
her
much.
happy.
And she's just so happy to be alive around us. But it's just a lot. You know, she doesn't know how to just back off and chill. Just chill. So she's very cute when she's really tired.
So are
Just
my
like
kids.
a toddler.
Just like kids.
Exactly.
My kids are so cute when they're tired.
Yeah. So
Unless
cute.
they're in that grumpy phase before they're
Yeah, no, when they're like
when they're
almost
laying
asleep.
down and they're tired. They're really cute.
That's my dog.
All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, we
Yeah,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
This
Yeah,
was a-
it was
this
a lot
was a-
of fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was a cool conversation.
This was really cool. And now I feel like I'm a little bit more well rested, but I didn't sleep. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's part of it as well. That's part because it's kind of combined with yoga nidra, which is a yogistic sleep. So when you do a real session of yoga nidra, you will do like maybe 20 minutes of it.
Oh God.
But it feels like you slept for 8 hours.
Yeah. Wow.
You didn't really sleep, but it feels like you slept for 8 hours when you do yoga nidra for 20 minutes.
Oh,
Cool.
so I need this in
I'm
my
gonna try
life.
this.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Just add that to the
To our list. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
You're
Piret.
welcome. Bye.
Bye.
We're so grateful that you joined us today. If this story spoke to you, share it with someone who might need it too. You can find us at ican'tevenimagine.com or connect with us on Facebook at ican'tevenimagine a podcast for moms or Instagram at ICEI_podcast.
And don't forget, there's purpose in your path, even if you can't see it yet.